does it mean to love, to be in love, to be loved? It seems like for as long as we exist, there's this question, this desire to be with someone, to not be alone. And with that comes the idea of love, community, partnership. From the ancient myths, from Greek mythology, about the second piece of you that's somewhere in the world and you need to find it, to countless movies, TV shows, books about relationships, romance. We like this idea, quite frankly. It's so popular. Let's be honest, it seems like at least 95% of songs are about love or relation. It's so desirable. Why do we fuck it up so often? It's so desirable, but what is it actually? What's so desirable? In the letters of Paul, we have the description of love. What love does and what it doesn't. How love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. How love never fails. But we can clearly see that that's not the case. That it does fail you sometimes. And that's the price. And once again, the price, right? Romantic texts like the classic Romeo and Juliet, where this clear price to pay for love, and this motive of having to sacrifice something for love is so often portrayed in art, in various forms of art. It makes you wonder why is it so hard for us to just accept the fact that something might be without some big sacrifice, some great cost. Why is it that love or relationship seems to be like less valuable if it's not costly, if it doesn't cost us, if we don't have to sacrifice anything? What if that's not the case? What if you don't have to sacrifice things for love? What if it's not, you don't have to pay a price? What if it just is, it just exists? You fall in love, you build a relationship. Well, it seems so simple, right? You start a relationship, you start building something with the other person, and then you grow together. It's a benefit to everyone, right? You build each other up. You create the future for your children, or the community at large. It seems so simple, yet what's the problem? Why is it the case that so many people fail at relationships? In this letter from St. Paul, he describes what love is, what love does, but maybe so many people miss the point that love in itself doesn't do anything. Maybe that's the reality. It's when it hits you that it's up to you, it's your actions, the influence you have on others. Maybe that's why then it becomes so, then it also almost becomes a burden. It's easier not to try than to try, but then you cry about not having the result you want. And well, all of a sudden it's not so simple anymore. I'm talking about humanity's history, humanity's nature, how we embody this idea of love, but now it's different. Or perhaps it's just another form. Well, we don't have the records from history, so I can only speak of what I see now. And one thing that I recognize is that so many people like to talk on social media about relationships like it's a market. Like there's some, you want to talk about value, how much someone is worth, right? You have another red pill movements and other bullshit ideas like that, with the emotion of anger overpowering the emotion of love, the idea of love, people talking about each other's worth, grading themselves or others on some scales, some numbers, like with some dolls to judge. Like you can judge someone by the picture. Well, the reality is you're not just a picture, you're not a doll to play with, and that's not really attractive. And that brings us to the dating apps and how that changed the idea of love, the idea of commitment, the fact that you need to interest someone in a couple of sentences, some text, some emojis, some pictures. You need to, and it becomes like a lottery. It becomes like a slot machine where you need to hit the jackpot with the right wording, with the right ideas, and if you don't, then you can just simply miss the chance of perhaps having the happy relationship. And there's this another mechanism of just always knowing that there might be something better, something else out there. So you don't want to risk it, right? What if there is someone better? And the truth is, there always might be. So you don't want to stick on that one person, that one woman, that one guy. So you don't really get to know each other. You don't really get to build the relationship unless you get that initial hook. You hit that jackpot. And it completely destroys that idea. That idea of having a second half. Which even in itself, like that's that's just another version of this, of the same principle. You want someone to fill the void, you want someone to complete you, right? So you look, you search for that, you try to hit that right person, not someone that you can actually grow with, but someone that will complete you right here, right now, to hit that jackpot. And it's just not true. It's not how the world works. It's not how people work. We all come from different backgrounds, we all have different experiences, we have different brains and minds. Even if we have similar experience, we process it differently, we can come to different conclusions, and it creates different people. We will never complete each other in that sense, but we can definitely learn one another and how to live together, and how to, because of the differences, improve each other's lives, be the benefit to each other. And I think that's the beauty of this idea. And yet so many people also lose hope because of how our society works, how popular and how many options you have. Commitment seems to be much harder for people, especially since for so long you had the institutions like arranged marriages. And I don't think that people realize how big that change culturally, socially was. And all of a sudden you have to make the decision, you have to make the commitment, and not just be fine with other people's choices. It's a change of taking responsibility for that relationship, when before you could just learn how to live with the current situation. It's the situation you found yourself in, decided by someone else, usually the parents. And now you have so many people that experience the disgusting behavior from the partners, which is cheating, that completely destroys the trust, completely destroys the hope for fulfilling this idea of love that I truly believe is just simply beautiful in its simplicity, actually, because we can complicate it so badly. But the principles that Saint Paul wrote about in the Bible, these are truly simple principles to follow, to be patient, to show respect to one another, to show understanding. It's these kind of behaviors, they're not that hard. They just need some effort on our part, the decision. And we need to remember that once you fall in love, once you have the relationship, even when you get married, like, that's not the end goal. A lot of people also seem to think that the wedding day is the end goal, like it's the next step. It's really not. You have the fun day, the special day that symbolizes something beautiful. But there's also a day after that, the day after the wedding. and that is also equally important. And the day after that, and the day after that. Sternberg talked about three principles of relationships: intimacy, attachment, and passion. As these three principles can lead to the what we call the perfect relationship. Because without intimacy and passion, there's only empty relationship. Something that he argued every relationship ends at. And I actually agree with that, but I know that it doesn't have to end during the life. What I mean by that is that we're all gonna die one day, and one of the most beautiful things is to not be at that stage of relationship at the moment of your death. So I think that we all should and can strive to avoid the emptiness of relationship as long as one is alive, as long as one breathes. I think that we need to really look at the ideas, analyze them, so that we can then internalize them and then act on them. Because the truth is that love is not dead, and it never will be, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It needs hope, it needs patience, and I know that so many people may witness or experience themselves a terrible relationship, a failed love, a broken heart. But as long as you're breathing, there's always another day, and that next day can always give you the new positive experience. And I truly believe that it's worth hoping for.